Let's go to the phone, and let's bring in Broncos tight end Owen Daniels from Dove Valley. Owen, thanks for joining the show with me and Woody.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
Sure. Hey, Owen, you have been following around Gary Kubiak and Rick Dennison for a long time now, first in Houston and then in Baltimore last year. Or maybe they've been following you around. I don't know. But the question is, has this been a semi-seamless transition for you, going from Houston to Baltimore and now to Denver, because the offense is Gary Kubiak and Rick Dennison's offense?
Yeah, well, Kubiak's been keeping me employed, which is nice. I appreciate that about him. Yes, it's been pretty good. Last year it was 100% everything we've done in the past. What Coop's done offensively in the past, same thing, exact stuff we've done in Houston. This year is a little bit different, just because I'm having to learn some of what they've done here in the past with Peyton's up-tempo offense, no-huddle offense. So still doing everything we've done in the past, but then adding that as well. So a little learning from me, but that's a good thing.
Well, and this Woody, and I have to disagree with Les. Les goes, oh, it's seamless, like he doesn't have to move his family.
Hold on.
I said
semi-seamless. I didn't say totally seamless.
He's got to fit in with 52 other guys every place he goes. You act like, oh, you just show up and it's a... I'd rather ask this question. Do you see the melding of the two offenses that you just talked about? What sort of existed with Peyton Manning, the quote Peyton Manning offense, and the Gary Kubiak? How seamless is that melding going on, Owen, since now you're seeing about half the offense is not what you saw last year?
Right. Well, it's definitely a work in progress. I mean, we have our periods of practice where we'll work specifically things that, Peyton's done here in the past, and other periods of practice, where we'll just, run our standard offense. And I think we'll have a better feel for how it's going to mesh when we actually get to a game situation. But in terms of the way I see it, it's very easy for us to just be in our offense and have Coop calling plays, and then I'm sure Peyton will have the freedom to change the tempo if he wants to, if he sees something. So it's two good things that we can do that I think are going to mesh just fine.
Oh, and how about the transition from Joe Flacco to Peyton Manning? Two elite quarterbacks there. So compare and contrast, if you will, on the field and off the field, the difference between those two guys.
Oh, man. They're different players for sure. Joe's obviously always, he's been known for his arm, and I haven't really seen anyone throw it like he's ever thrown it. I think, Peyton's obviously been known. He can still throw the ball. I've been really pleasantly surprised how he's been throwing it here in camp, but his game's always been the mental advantage that he's taken into games, and a lot more freedom that I've noticed to be able to change things, audible plays, and get into different situations than we did last year in Baltimore. So, but two great quarterbacks to play for. I've been lucky.
Yeah, let's get to you. Enough about all these other people. Are you getting older? Are you getting better? Are you feeling like you are in the prime of your career now, that the numbers, the success are going to be even stronger this year than they have been for you before?
Well, I feel good. I always, pride myself in taking care of my body and making sure that I'm getting into shape. And man, it's not any easier now that I'm 32. But I feel like I can still do the same things I did before. It's just a little bit harder work for me. So I'm feeling good. Body's feeling pretty good. Coach is doing a good job of giving us, some vets some time off, so we don't get too worn down here, so we can be fresh this season.
Let's switch to what you see every day. You played with Wade Phillips, played against his defenses in Houston. You were seeing him every day like you are now. Then you go off. Baltimore has a great defense. And then you come here, and as Les points out every day, everybody on the defense has been in the Pro Bowl. I think he's not totally accurate, but he's close.
There are 5 Pro Bowlers on the defensive side of the ball.
Yes. How does this compare to the Wade Phillips defense that you practiced against every day? Is this what you kind of saw in Houston, or are there different wrinkles that they're showing you and different talent levels?
Well, I think the scheme, for the most part, Wade runs his defense. That's the way it's going to be. That's kind of how it's always been. He's going to bring pressure. He's going to play man coverage behind it, and he's going to mix things up. So. But at the talent level, that he's been able to coach right now. The guys that I have to deal with, DeMarcus and Vaughn on the edge, man, they're a handful every day, but they're making us a ton better. So when we get to the regular season, those are two of the best in the league, and they make it hard on there on the edge. But when we get to the regular season, hopefully that'll translate, transition, and things will be a little bit easier for me.
Do you think he's going to try Von Miller in roles like the guy you played with in Houston, who is considered the best defensive player in the league, in J.J. Watt?
I don't know, honestly. I think we want Vaughn, playing aggressive and rushing the passer and doing what he does best. Obviously, Vaughn and JJ play different positions, but Vaughn's the type of guy that he can do a lot of things, and they'll find ways to get him free and get him one-on-one matchups, and he's going to win most of those. People are, and whoever those people are, they're crazy, but people are saying that you're going to be the pass-catching tight end. Virgil Green's going to be the blocking tight end. But from what I see in practice and what I know about the Gary Kubiak's offense is there are going to be 3 tight ends in the game at once. There's going to be 1 tight end, no tight ends. I mean, really, isn't that more of the scheme that everybody's going to have to do everything in terms of blocking, catching, or being aware that you're going to be on and off the field a lot? Yeah, you're right there. We don't want to have a guy that's, if he's on the field, he's only catching passes, he's only running routes, and that's kind of the way the tight end position has gone in Coach Kubiak's offense. You got to do both. So Virgil and I will both be blocking, we'll both be catching passes. When we go to 3 tight ends, that's James or DJ will be doing the same thing, all the same stuff. So we're trying to keep defense off balance. We're trying to mess with their personnel groupings, and we feel confident. We have 2 tight ends out there that we can run or pass, equally as well, and it kind of puts the pressure on the defense to pick if they want to go nickel, if they want to stay base, and like we have an advantage either way.
We're talking to Broncos tight end Owen Daniels, and that's brought to you by Papa John's Pizza. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Hey, Owen, when you were signed by the Broncos, Mike Shanahan, who you probably know still lives in town, said to me, the Broncos just made a real nice pickup because this guy knows how to get open, and Peyton Manning's probably going to rely on him, especially down in the red zone, much the same way he relied on Wes Welker, especially now that Julius Thomas is gone. Number one, how do you feel when a guy who's won 2 Super Bowls says that about you, that you're always open? And number 2, do you see that as your role? Are you going to be kind of a hybrid between what Wes Welker and Julius Thomas gave this team?
Well, I appreciate those comments from Coach Shanahan. It's always nice to get have things said like that about a guy that's highly respected. You know what? I'm just gonna play my game, what I've been doing the last 9 years, and I think Koob will use me in the same type of capacity. Be a guy that the tight end in this offense typically is a kind of a security blanket at times. For hot throws or for checkdowns, things like that. So whether it's in the open field or down the red zone, just trying to get open and be in the right spot for number 18.
I hate comparisons of players, but was there somebody that you tried to emulate? And I'm going to bring up Dallas Clark that Peyton played with in Indianapolis, and they were so effective together. Tony Romo has a tight end that he's worked together with for years.
Jason Witten.
And both those, you remind me of both those guys and your ability to get open, get downfield.
Because you're white and you're tall, Owen.
Oh, well, that's not true. Well, you want me to compare him to Julius Thomas? No. Is there somebody, though, that when you came in the league, you went, oh, this is a guy I want to play like. This is a guy whose career I want to have. Or do you feel like you're similar to anybody else who's played the game or playing the game?
Oh, man. There's been a lot of great tight ends, I guess, just in my years that I've gotten to see play. And when I was growing up, I wasn't really a tight end guy. I was a quarterback guy growing up. And so I'd always try to mold my game up after other quarterbacks, and then change positions in college, and was just trying to get a feel for the position. So I watched Tony Gonzalez, I watched Jeremy Shockey. I watched Jason Witten when I was young, growing up, and figuring out how to play the game. And those guys are all physical guys, and can catch the ball well and run good routes. So I don't know. I wouldn't say I tried to mold my game after anybody, because we're all a little different. But you look to those guys since they've been so successful, see why they've been so successful.
So when you were 6 or 7 years old, you were trying to copy Peyton Manning?
Back then it was Montana. When I got to middle school, it was Peyton Manning.
Yeah. Hey, Owen, really appreciate your time. I know you got to get to some meetings. Probably want to hydrate and eat a little bit too. So we'll see you out at camp tomorrow, okay?
All right, guys. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for joining us again.
Yeah. That's Owen Daniels, the Broncos starting tight end, just picked up from Baltimore. All live guests brought to you by Papa John's, official sponsor of the Colorado Rockies. What?
Well, I could have said Antonio Gates, but he
was
couldn't
kidding.
emulate basket. Well, I know, but I wasn't picking out white players. I was picking out solid pass catching.
I know you were
tight ends.
I know you were, and you did a wonderful job with it too.
Well, one plays in Dallas, one is named Dallas. So.
Order some pizza. Go to papajohns.com. You can get 50% off your order today because the Rockies won yesterday. It's hooked into the Rockies. So go to papajohns.com and use promo code ROXWIN, ROXWIN.